Hello, Internet.
Wait. I thought we said we were going to do hi, Internet.
Why would I say hi? I always say hello.
I know, but this isn't the show. This is a commercial for the show. I thought we said we were going to do it different.
I always say hello, Rod.
All right, fine. Say it whatever way you want to, Chris. It doesn't matter what I say anyway.
Hello, Internet.
You did, fine. You got your hello in. And now I'm Rod Morgan. You can listen to us on Balls and Brew, where we'll argue about many things, even more inane than what you just heard us argue about there. I promise. Right here on the Morganino Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Yeah We Know Podcast, part of the Morganino's Podcast Network. You're in the ring with Jimmy and Rod. Rod, what are you hot about today?
Jimmy, thank you very much for asking me that, because I'm actually hot about something that I'm coming in out of left field on you guys all about here. All right? Driving, okay? Four-way stops. How many four-way stops do we all encounter in our lives, right? We're supposed to know the basic rules of driving when we encounter a four-way stop. But there's certain ways when at a four-way stop that you can help move traffic forward at a quicker rate, right? So let me ask both of you gentlemen here with me on the podcast today a question. When I'm coming up to a four-way stop and the car on my immediate right is not turning right, okay? Therefore, they're not trying to turn to get in front of me, and the car coming in the other direction is going straight, am I okay to just, bam, go through the intersection because nobody's going to be able to drive anyway? I ask both of you gentlemen that question right now. Jimmy, that's what I'm hot about. Am I okay to do that? Because I did that today and got yelled at.
I was looking here. Seth Rollins did not drive a car on Raw, so I don't know where that's coming from. So what, you're saying the car on your right is not turning right?
Correct.
The car on your left, you were there before them or there at the same time?
They're irrelevant. They're irrelevant.
No,
If the car,
not
in
irrelevant.
the car of the other direction is going straight across, and then nobody's going through the intersection anyway. Why can't I just go to help alleviate traffic? Then everybody else can figure it out after we're both done.
Is the car on your left going straight or left?
I don't remember.
Well, that's kind of a big, because or is the car on your left, did they get there before you?
I don't know, but again, they're
Well, how do
clearly
you
they
not
didn't get
know?
there before the car that's going straight.
Well, if the car to your left got there before you, they have the right of way. It's called driving.
Yeah, but see, I don't know. But I disagree. I disagree. When we're at a four-way stop, if somebody can't go anyway, what's the harm? What's the harm if the guy who's going to go straight through the intersection, because the guy's coming straight, he's coming the opposite direction I am at the four-way stop, Jim. Maybe you're not imagining what I'm saying here.
Okay. So the
car
guy
who's now going
is coming at you.
Correct.
Whatever.
And he's the guy going, right?
Oh,
so
yeah,
then I just take a quick
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going boom, because nobody's going anyway.
Well, of course. Yes, 100%. Done. Next question.
See, okay, but I got yelled at for that today because somebody
left
apparently
guy?
was trying to get too crazy about the rules of the road. The way you just were, Jimmy.
No, the rules of the road are if there's a four-way, if all four of you get there at the same time and the car in front of you is going straight, you take a right because the other two cars can't go. No question. Chris, if four buggies come up to a way station, which horse gets fed first? By the way, welcome the man they call, I believe, Sheamus's tag team partner, Der König. Hashtag Old Man Chris. Chris, what's going on?
Thank you guys for having me, and that was way out of left field, Rod. People who are there.
He asked me what I was hot about, and I was hot about that because I'm like, listen, I'm just trying to make things go quicker for everybody, and I'm the bad guy somehow.
And this is why you see more and more roundabouts getting built every single day.
Thank you.
Yes, we are Greenwood. We are not the home of the roundabout. I believe Carmel still has that. But we are like the child of Carmel because we are getting roundabouts all over the place. We are the Yeah We Know podcast. We have, I think, a premium live event this Saturday. But gentlemen, it was reported today by the Wall Street Journal how the Saudis have shared intelligence with the United States warning of an imminent attack from Iran on targets inside the kingdom. The American military and others in Middle East are reportedly on an elevated alert level, according to Saudi and U.S. officials. In response to the warning, the kingdom, the U.S., and several other neighboring states have raised the level of alert for their military forces, officials said. You know, I don't know if it's a good idea for the WWE to go to Saudi Arabia on Saturday. Thoughts, Rod?
I would actually say that is a great sentence you could say at any time, whether there was about to be an imminent threat level raised here or not. I think that it would probably be best for WWE to not go to Saudi Arabia other than the money that they get to line their coffers with, which we all understand is a very important aspect in business and entertainment here in America. But, yeah, It's a tough call here, though, right? Because it's you have tickets that are sold. You have storylines that need to be furthered, sort of, right? You have somebody like Jake Paul, Logan Paul. I always mix the
Both
Paul
of them.
brothers up
Yeah,
still after all this time.
Sure.
But they come associated with a little bit of an audience that's expecting a show. Like, I get it at this late hour, you might not want to call it, but Jimmy, I also understand what you're hinting at there. And yeah, by all means, this is just a silly wrestling show, so we should call it off. But I understand why it hasn't been yet, I guess is what I'm saying in a roundabout way.
So, Chris, I have a question for you. How would you like to be Anderson and Gallows right now, who the last time they were in WWE, the plane in Saudi Arabia got hijacked, and it basically led to them not being in WWE anymore. They come back to WWE, they're going back to Saudi Arabia, and now there's a war. Thoughts?
I mean, maybe they should stop trying to go to Saudi Arabia.
Well, $50 and $70 million to shareholders is a
not
lot of money.
WWE. I'm just talking about those two guys.
Yeah, Anderson and Gallows, you are correct.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what? Anderson probably should have went to Japan and did the never open weight championship like he should be doing, but that's a whole nother story for another podcast because we, Rod, I do not believe, talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling, correct?
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen a New Japan Pro Wrestling match, so I don't think anybody would care for my analysis on the subject.
So we have Crown Jewel, we think, coming up this Saturday. This is typically a non-canon event. And what does non-canon mean for those of you who aren't nerds like the three of us? Non-canon basically means nothing happens at these events that goes on and affects anything else moving forward. It's kind of a standalone show. It's kind of a house show, just a little trumped up house show, maybe like a Madison Square Garden house show where you have big names wrestling each other, but ultimately nothing happens. Rod, are you a fan of the Crown Jewel itself, not the location, but are you a fan of this? Do we like this on a Saturday afternoon? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm going to be completely selfish here, which I know will probably shock the listeners, but I have to work at Saturday at noon. So, I mean,
Okay.
I don't like the fact that I have to avoid Twitter and like you, my fellow friends who we love our wrestling text message thread, right? I have to tell you guys no spoilers when I'm at work. Then I have to come home and then I have to wait for them to be able to release the encore, which I think is basically like an hour to maybe even 2 hours actually after it ends before they'll allow the replay to be showed. So from that aspect, I don't like it, but from where I think you're ultimately going here, Jim, I think it's probably a pretty good thing. We're only up against some college football matchups. We're definitely not taking on the NFL. You get it over and done with early in the afternoon versus late at night when most other premium live events end. So from that end, it's okay. But the location of where it's at and the fact that I can't watch it makes me not really like it that much.
Yeah, we have a football tournament right smack dab in the middle of Crown Jewel, so I'll be listening on the phone maybe there. Old man Chris, noon, this is about dinner time for you. Are you excited to watch an early show tonight on Saturday?
Yeah, I'll be real excited. I can stay up for the whole shebang.
Okay, so let's get into it here. So the whole shebang, huh? All right, let's get into it here. Bray Wyatt is going to make an appearance and talk for probably 38 minutes about a lot of nonsense. They may have a couple pictures of, what is it, Uncle Howie, I believe, and some of the other Wyatt Six. We'll see if that goes anywhere. Other than seeing Bray Wyatt, any thoughts on that little thing there, Rod?
No, I don't have
Fair
any
enough.
thoughts on
I think
Bray Wyatt.
you're good on Bray Wyatt right now. I can tell. We'll see what
Listen,
happens
no,
moving
don't put
forward.
don't put me in any kind of Bray Wyatt crosshairs at this moment. I've basically said nothing about Bray Wyatt to try to just avoid being able to put in any kind of crosshairs, man. Just wake me when something actually happens other than him talking in the ring. Basically, the CM Punk at this point, where we just bring him out at the end of the show to garner a huge pop and tell everybody that he loves him. That's basically all he's doing at this point.
We have the newly crowned women's tag team champions from Raw, Asuka and Alexa Bliss. By the way, Asuka is back and she's ferocious and I love it. Versus two members of the Party Crashers, Kai and Sky. Chris King, who you got? Asuka and Alexa or Kai and Sky?
Asuka and Alexa. I love Asuka. She is legit. She packs a punch and a kick. I love watching her wrestler. I'm glad she's back. I'm glad she's still as ferocious as ever. I think they'll come out on top. I don't see these belts changing hands so quick after Raw.
The Cleveland Crippler agrees with you there. Rod, are you excited to see Alexa and Asuka back, and are we looking forward to anything particular in this matchup?
I was excited to see Alexa in the ring. I was excited that she wasn't carrying Lily. Now, I don't know if that was more just like a heat of the moment kind of thing. We don't have Lily if she's going to show up with him again because they're picking and choosing times with Riddle and the Scooter, and they're picking and choosing times with Lily and Alexa. But it reminded me that Alexa has some heat, right? I mean, she's got some history. She's got a good resume. She's pretty good in the ring as long as we make sure we keep within her kind of moveset. You know, she's very believable with the DDTs, right? Being as small as she is, she can do some good things off the top rope. I really enjoyed seeing both of them come back. And I mean, and as you guys stated here, I can't say it any better than you guys did. Who doesn't want to see Asuka mix it up in the ring? And I think it was an interesting choice to let them win it on a Raw like that and then give them an immediate rematch in Saudi Arabia here. It really has me doing a lot of thinking because, Jim, as you stated, things don't usually change over in Saudi Arabia. The way they are is usually the way that they are the same when we leave. But I don't know what they would accomplish by giving the belt to somebody else. So I guess I got to go Alexa and Asuka here, but I am really perplexed and interested to hear what you have to say on this match, Jimmy.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to go against everything I said. I'm going to pick Kai and Sky here because I think this is an opportunity for the WWE to give Saudi Arabia a title change that really doesn't mean very much in the whole grand scheme of things. Again, in canon, they just lost the belts. They can get them back on Saturday, and we're kind of where we were, and we can continue that feud on. So I think I'm going to go with listen, I could throw I am number one right now in the four of us. I'm winning. This could be bad.
How
this
humble of you to not bring that up until now, Jim. I commend you because I would have led the podcast with it. I'd have led the podcast with it. Other than my rant about four-way stops, I'd have led with me winning if I was winning.
So I've got Kai and Sky winning that one. Then we're going to go to Judgment Day versus the OC. The Cleveland Crippler and myself have the OC winning.
Wait a minute. Who's the OC? Are those the biker accountants? Is that who you're talking about?
Yes, the biker accountants. Yes, that's who those are. I've got them winning. I do not think we're going to see the new crap. I shouldn't have them winning then. All right, I'm going to change it's my show. I'm going to do it. I'm going to change it to Judgment Day's winning this one. They're going to have one more Rhea Ripley interference. Judgment Day is going to win. Then next week on Raw, we are going to see the woman come in, whoever that is.
We know who that is. It's going to be the wife of the man who is famous for returns at this point, right? Basically, returns are part of his canon and his character at this point. He really has no other character other than I return from absences.
Yeah, it might be.
I'm with you, Jimmy. Judgment Day wins here because Judgment Day, they're hot right now. Finn Balor's hot. Damian Priest is hot. Rhea Ripley, the new Chyna, she's hot. Dominic Mysterio's never been better. Judgment Day wins this because what in the world are Anderson and Gallows going to do winning matches, please? Okay, AJ Styles needed some backup, but no, these guys they're of no significance. I call them the biker accountants for a reason. Give me the Judgment Day.
Chris King, you going to go with the OC, or are you going to stick with Rod and I here? Who are you going to go with, the Crippler or us?
Judgment Day.
Okay. Get them another win in there. Continue, like you said, with Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley, now that she can wrestle, take bumps, give bumps. That slam on Gallows was
impressive
insane.
stuff.
That was very impressive.
You know, I've talked Rhea Ripley up, though, for quite a while on this podcast.
She's good, and now she's actually getting the opportunity to wrestle some higher quality matches. Here's a tough one here for me. McIntyre Cross in a steel cage match. Rod, I'm going to go to you first on this. Who you got, McIntyre or Cross on this one?
I got Cross. And I think I got Cross because we're going to continue that story. I don't think there's anybody else for Karrion Kross to fight right now. I don't think there's anybody else for Drew McIntyre to fight right now. I think the brutality that these guys are willing to go to makes them be ideal opponents for one another. And I think the steel cage match speaks to the fact that Karrion Kross is not the best in-ring worker, for lack of a better term, but all he has to do is crawl out of the steel cage so he can just put McIntyre to sleep and then crawl out. I'm absolutely all for Karrion Kross here because Scarlett can get involved somehow. Just give me Karrion Kross.
Yeah, we still have some interference possibilities with Scarlett there. Anything can happen. Smoke and mirrors. I do have Kross winning this as well. We want to continue to build him up. McIntyre, he's going to get in the Seth Rollins area here in a minute where he needs a big win. I don't think he's quite there yet because he's still got the fans backing him. However, the Cleveland Crippler and Old Man Chris here think that he is going to get the win. So, Chris, kind of let us know why should we think we're wrong here on this one?
I think they give McIntyre the win. I think they need this feud to keep going. Cross already beat him in the strap match. I think they need to give it to McIntyre here to keep that feud going. If you keep letting Cross beat him and beat him and beat him, then why is there a feud?
Yeah, but Drew's the white meat babyface. He's always got to have somebody to strive after. So if Cross keeps beating him and he keeps beating him in underhanded ways, right? What better than to keep getting the white meat babyface, I do everything right except I'm angry and have a beard and carry a sword, Drew McIntyre over?
Yeah, and then maybe McIntyre gets a big win, championship type win, costing Karrion Kross something coming up in the next couple of months. So that could be in the cards there. We're going to go back to old man Chris here with Lesnar and Lashley. This is going to be a battle. I don't think it's going to go too long. You and the Crippler agree on this one too, Chris. I don't know. Maybe you two are texting back and forth without our knowledge. Who you got?
I got Lesnar. And listen, I love Bobby Lashley. But I haven't seen nothing but Lesnar get rocked, get beat, get pinned, get tables and chairs and everything piled on top of him. He needs a win. People want to see him win. This should be a fascinating and probably not long, probably like 15, maybe 20 minutes tops, but full bore action. They're really trying to sell it every week, every Raw, every SmackDown. You can't keep them from fighting each other. This should be knockdown, drag out. I think Lesnar wins.
I like that, though. How cool and badass did Triple H look, right? Coming out of the back with the shoulders all hunched up and telling everybody, get back. And if you touch each other, the match is off, right? I'm like, yeah, man, give me that kind of energy out of Triple H every once in a while. We don't need to go full-blown corporation, even though I would love it. I understand most people would not. But give me a little bit of that energy out of Triple H every once in a while. I dug that.
Speaking of energy, Rod, who's going to have the most energy at the end of this match, Lesnar or Lashley?
This is a tough call for me, man, because you know that I've had a journey with Bob Lashley. I've had an absolute journey with Bob Lashley, and I love the nickname that was coined on the Ringer Wrestling podcast for Lesnar, Brock in case of emergency Lesnar.
That's a good one. Yep.
You know what I mean? But we're not really in an emergency situation here. We also have somebody different at the helm in Triple H. I think I got to go with Chris and the Crippler here. Give me Bob, or go against them. Give me Bob Lashley here.
Never good when we agree so much, but I think Bobby Lashley's going to win this one too because they're going to set up the third match. Lesnar got the first win. Lashley's going to get the second here. Set that third match up for whatever you want. I mean, it could even be a WrestleMania matchup because I don't think either of these two are going to be in the title picture. So I like Lashley here. Chris, do you think we're just crazy?
I think you're going to see... Yeah, I think you let Lesnar win this. I think you let Lashley then go back after Seth freaking Rollins and try to give that title back.
Okay. See, but I think what you got to think about here, Chris, and Jimmy, correct me if I'm wrong here, and I think
You're
this
wrong.
is some of your thinking. Thank you. But nothing changes here, right? So what we need is Bob Lashley to continue being great, right? So you get a victory over him and Lesnar loses in Saudi Arabia, big deal. Lesnar gets the big, huge paycheck to show up in Saudi Arabia, and he loses. It's no big deal because Lesnar's not going to show up on a weekly basis the way Bob Lashley is, and I think that matters to Triple H.
Yeah, it could. Definitely, Chris. What do you think on that one?
Listen, yeah, I don't disagree with anything you just said as far as Lesnar not being there week to week, going there to get a big paycheck. But the fans want to see him win. I'm tired. I am tired of seeing him lose every time he comes out for every pay-per-view. Like
How much of a superhero can he be if he keeps losing? I get what you're saying.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point too, Chris.
Now you got me nervous, Chris. Darn it! See, we got you watching too much wrestling now, and now you're starting to make these good points. And darn it, now you got me nervous.
Oh, we're going to talk about how much you watch his wrestling here in a little bit. Bianca and Bayley in a last woman standing match. To me, I would have loved to see this match last pay-per-view or next pay-per-view because I don't know if they're going to get to do everything they could do in Saudi Arabia.
Where do we go from here, though, Jim? Like, I'm with you. The feud doesn't need to be over because of who else do we have for Bianca right now? Bayley's been her best foil for quite a while. So why do we got to go to a last man standing match? I don't understand it. I'm not even sure Bayley is working that great of matches right now. Now we're going to put her in a last man standing match? Here's another thing. I'm sorry, EST, if you're listening, you're still the greatest, but I'm not sure how wonderful you are at working a match. And now we're putting you in a last man standing match? I don't understand it, Jimmy. Make me understand it.
Well, it is who you wrestle against, and Bayley needs to get continued reps, like we've talked about, because Bayley's fantastic. She just needs to get those reps, and she's getting at those house shows and these types of matches. But this last woman standing, this really needs to be a 25 to 35-minute match.
Absolutely,
for it
with
to
two
be
of
a
the other
last
matches on this
women
card
standing.
for sure.
And I don't see them getting that, so I don't know how they're going to get there. I think we're all in agreement here that Bianca's going to walk out with the championship, right?
Absolutely. I don't see any way that Bayley wins this match. Chris, do you?
Yeah, no.
Yes, no. I love how
No.
Chris answers all those questions. It's fantastic. And I don't want to shortchange this match because I do love both of these competitors.
The EST's
but I just
fabulous.
don't
She's one of
see-
the top baby faces in the whole company, male or female.
And I don't see how this is going to get its just desserts yet. Maybe in a year, these two would just have a knockdown, drag-out match. But again,
Jimmy, here, listen. Let me just speak to it. Here's the unspoken thing in the room right now, why we're not looking forward to this match and why Alexa Bliss and Asuka have to be tag teams, because we miss the queen, Jimmy. There is a queen-sized void in the women's division in WWE. I don't care if you put her on Raw. I don't care if you put her on SmackDown. Have her go after Ronda. Have her go after Bianca. Have her come back together with Becky in a Mega Powers thing. I don't care. There is a huge queen-sized void in women's wrestling in WWE, and I don't understand how much longer Charlotte needs to be off, Jimmy. I'm starting to be emotional about it.
she needs to show up, Rod. That's all. I'm not going to say anything else because, I'm going to give you an analogy here that might actually end the podcast. Is Charlotte Flair the Kawhi Leonard of the WWE?
Oh, wow.
Think about no. I just thought of this right now because we have another show, Fast Break, that follows Balls and Brew every week. Check that out this week. But anyway, Kawhi Leonard is one of the most talented people around, but he's never around. Charlotte Flair could be the greatest women's wrestler of all time, but how much does she wrestle right now? Being there is very important, and she's not there right now.
Yeah, I mean, and we're rolling up to Survivor Series, which is another one of the four pillars, right? I mean, if we have a Mount Rushmore of the premium live events, you know what I mean? It's your Survivor Series, it's your SummerSlam, it's your Rumble, and it's your WrestleMania, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, I would throw in Money in the Bank too, just because it's my personal favorite. But yes, definitely those.
I mean, you could interchange Money in the Bank and Survivor Series depending on what stories we're rolling with at that point of the year. But I mean, it should be a big deal, and we just had no sign of Charlotte Flair. We got no sign of any kind of feud of hers leading into the Rumble. Sure, she can be a surprise entrant there, and if she's not, then we really need to burn the place down. But I just sidetracked us on Charlotte Flair. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Strowman and Omos. Strowman's gonna win this. I don't see how. Chris, convince me I'm wrong. How is Omos gonna win this match?
Like you said, it's a house show. It doesn't really mean anything. It's not canon. Why not give the big guy a win when it doesn't mean anything? He hasn't won anything since I've got back into the game. Let him win, and then you start a real feud.
Give him a win. That's funny.
I don't know about Braun Strowman, though. I mean, I really don't. So I think that's why Braun's got to win, Chris. Like, I would give the same argument that you just gave for Omos for Braun Strowman, right? We made this big deal about Braun Strowman coming back. He's fought a couple of small guys and not really done anything, right? So if he doesn't beat Omos, then what are we doing,
I've seen Omos lose to a bunch of small dudes since I started watching again, so I really want to see him win.
Yeah, but see, Omos is a little bit like, and listen, I'm not saying that they're on the same level now, but they have the same attraction deal, right? Andre could lose every now and again, right? But you still believe that Andre was a badass because he was just that huge every time he walked into the ring. Omos still has that going for him.
He definitely does there. So we're gonna move on to the Usos versus the Brawling Brutes. I can't see how anyone thinks the Usos are going to drop the tag team titles in Saudi Arabia here. This is going to be your typical 10 to 12 minute match. A lot of brawling. You're going to see some terrific moves from the Usos and Butch with just back and forth. It'll be fun, but I don't really think that anyone here is going to call the Brawling Brutes to get the win, huh?
Well, I think what we're going to notice here is there's going to be a Sheamus-sized hole in this match, right?
Correct.
The guy certainly has earned some time off after the beating he had to take in these couple
Cool
of
wedding,
bangers
by
that he
the
was
way.
into
Cool wedding
with-
photos. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So he certainly has earned his time off. But man, it's amazing how much the Celtic Warrior really brings up the energy and the pop ability and the believability of the Brawling Brutes. And Butch has grown on me, as you know, right? He's a fast riser on the Rod's rankings here. But yeah, there's absolutely no way they beat the Usos, because is this where we talk about the Bloodline segment, Jimmy, or do we wait till we talk about the Tribal Chief to talk about the Bloodline segment?
Well, Chris, do you have anything to add for this matchup?
No, I think the Usos win. I don't think they're going to change anything. I don't even think that they'll even get too much into the issues that the Bloodlines have in this tag team match, or too much at all in Saudi Arabia. They'll wait till they get back stateside.
And I think there'll be a Sami Zayn size hole too, because he does not go to Saudi Arabia, because I actually think that would be really bad for him with religion and everything like that. So, be careful there. Speaking of Sami Zayn, speaking of the Usos, how Usi are you, Rod?
I can't believe how many times I've asked myself that question since that segment aired. But I mean, I want to kudos the in-ring cameraman and the director of SmackDown that night, because I mean, just the camera angles when they were getting guys breaking and trying not to break. And
Everyone broke. Everyone broke.
Yeah, it was fabulous. It was absolutely fabulous, and the absolute heat on Sami Zayn right now, how over he is right now, really has me questioning what in the world we could do with this bloodline. Roman Reigns has been the champ for over 2 years team right now. It really has me asking a lot of questions that there's no way you could have told me 6 months ago I'd be asking.
Chris, is there a world that we live in that Sami Zayn could be the one to dethrone the head of the table?
I mean,
the answer is no. But
apparently,
no, hold on. Here we go. No, I got this, Jimmy. Let me sell this. Let me sell this to both of you. What has Sammy portrayed himself to us before, Jimmy? He's the master manipulator, right? Sure. He's the thinking man's champion, right? He's doing all this planning and these chess moves out. What if we get sold a storyline where Sami Zayn played the ultimate long con of working his way into the bloodline, then working his way into Roman Reigns' almost right-hand man, right? And then turns his back on him and is the one to snatch the belt away from Roman Reigns. That would be incredible long-term storytelling.
I think he would need to win Money in the Bank. We're coming up on the year. I mean, we've got some time. Don't
Somebody hasn't even cashed in the last Money in the Bank yet,
That's
Jimmy.
the thing. We have to get through that. So I think that would be something that he could possibly do. But man, I wish. Who knows? It could happen. Anything can happen now. Sami Zayn could be the one to do it. I will tell you who will not be the one to do it. It will not be a Logan Paul. I think it'll be an entertaining matchup. He'll do some really good moves. It will not be a quick 3-minute match. We'll go a little longer than that for sure.
No, he'll impress. I believe
Roman
that,
Reigns
man. He'll impress. He's going to impress in the match. There's no doubt Roman Reigns wins, but Logan Paul will impress in the match. He's clearly been doing some work since his last match. He got even better in the last match than he was his first debut match. He's going to do some cool stuff, but come on. Roman Reigns has beat Brock Lesnar how many times, and all, there's no way he's losing to Logan Paul.
So we have a lot coming up here in the next couple of weeks. We've got Crown Jewel. We have Bray Wyatt still kind of figuring out what he's doing.
Wait a minute, Jimmy. Are we really going to leave this wrestling podcast and not mention the Trick or Snack? What was the name of that match on Raw? But come on, we got to shout out my guys, the Alpha Academy's costume. We got to shout out their costume on Raw.
Great costumes. Great.
He also did the caterpillar for the first time in a very, very long time, Otis.
He sure did.
Which is pretty cool. SmackDown usually does something, and it was playful. Matt Riddle came out dressed as Ezekiel,
which was fabulous. Where's KO, by the way? Which is all that I had myself asking. We're missing. There's a KO-sized hole on Raw right now as well.
Yeah, we need to get him back. Maybe he's got some time off. Ciampa's out. He had a big, I believe. He had a big surgery. I can't remember where it was.
But you're not bummed about any of this, because all these people being out means more time for your guy, Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano, Mr. Behind the Scenes. I'm cracking the big story with The Miz.
Oh, it's such a huge story that has so many holes that we don't have time to get into it now. But Dexter Lumis, The Miz, Johnny Gargano. Hey, why the heck not? Miz got knocked out on Raw. It'll be fun. SmackDown actually gets to air on Fox this week because the World Series got delayed. But we'll talk about that on next week's show. We'll also recap the event. Hopefully the event happens and everything goes okay. That's where we are right now. I want the event in Saudi Arabia to happen because that means there was no attack or anything like that, and everything was okay. We don't want anyone ever to be attacked. I think that's pretty fair to say. No death there. Chris, thanks for coming on. anything to add before we head out?
Thanks for having me again, guys. You have got me so deep into wrestling; it has now permeated my dreams, and I can't stop watching.
And with that, you've been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the Morgan Knows podcasting network. You're in the ring with Jimmy and Rod.
You know how I know we had Chris? Is it was about 2 weeks ago. He sent me a text message and he was like, "Is there anywhere I can watch SmackDown other than 4 weeks later on Peacock?" And so he was looking for the Jones out in the street. So I knew we had him at that point, baby. Wrestling. Everybody else get on the train.